This is the At Home with Zac
and TT for the Millwall drive home, reporting and reviewing on the game that just finished at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea City 2.
Millwall 1.
Millwall 1. A very close championship battle, which ultimately was decided on very poor defending from the Lions and two dreadful bits of refereeing, in my opinion. We'll go into it in more depth, but we've only got ourselves to blame for losing that game today, without a doubt. You can't defend the way that we defended, giving away two cheap goals and expect to win games in the Championship. It's as simple as that. We started off with a unchanged lineup from the game previously against Brentford. We started with Bartosz Białkowski in goal, the back three of Pearce, Cooper and Hutchinson. Right wing back was Marlon Romeo. Left wing back was Scott Malone. Ryan Woods and Ryan Leonard in the centre of midfield. The front three was Mason Bennett left wing, Jed Wallace right wing, and Tom Bradshaw getting a start again ahead of Matt Smith. Obviously, that's down to the fact that we wanted to press Swansea high up. I don't think our press was particularly good, if I'm honest. I felt that the front three pressed, but then there was gaps behind. We were too easy to play around. So if you're going to press, the team's got to press, and I don't think we quite did that. However, I do think we had good parts of the game. The first half was very even with very few chances created, and then second half, obviously we get off to a dreadful start with the ball crossed from the right to the back post, and Marlon Romeo is wrestling with Bidwell. Bidwell sticks a leg out and pokes into the bottom left hand corner, and it's such a forget about the wrestling match. Marlon's got to do far more there, hasn't he? He's got
to at least go for the ball. He just he went for the player.
Yeah, he went for the player and didn't get the player. So like we said, dreadful defending. But what was really good after that is that we went straight on the attacking foot. We pushed them back, and then finally Tom Bradshaw gets himself on the score sheet. I think it's the first goal he scored in over 250 days. So it's been a long time that he hasn't hit the back of the net. So it's great for the club, actually, that he scored today, as much as it is.
Because it will give Gary Rowett more confidence in him.
It will give Gary Rowett more confidence in him, and more importantly, it will give him more confidence. What he's done well is he's hit the ball low. It's the keeper's a little bit suspect, if I'm honest. It goes underneath the goalkeeper, and at 1-1, both teams then put pressure on each other. And you just, like I said, you can't concede the goal that we've conceded. It's a ball into the box that half cleared, then bounces around. Cabango, that makes an absolute dog's ear of it. He misses the ball completely. It still drops for him to hit it for a second time, and he puts it into the top corner. But you can't defend. You can't allow a player to get that much time and room in your own 6-yard box. It's just disgraceful, really, and that's not what we've been doing defensively. If you look, to create chances against Swansea has not been easy. They've had 3 games before us. They've kept clean sheets in all 3 of those games. So we're the first team to score against them this season, and we did create a few opportunities, but not enough again. And it's just the one thing that's really holding us back. I felt that we was talking about it, and it's really difficult to choose a man of the match today for us because no one really stood out. I thought Ryan Woods had, too many mistakes to give him.
He wasn't that great today, which is a surprise for Ryan Woods because he's normally one of the best players on that pitch, and today he made too many mistakes and he gave the ball away too many times.
And his partner in centre midfield, Ryan Leonard, done really well interlinking with Scott Malone. Certainly in the first half, which created one of our chances. Leonard puts Malone in round the back. Malone then chips it up to Bennett, who gets his head on it, but it's
there was
easily
a defender blocking it. So
yeah, and both teams blocked.
It was
chances.
A worthless chance, really.
Well, it's not worthless, but it didn't create me. It didn't look like it was going in, and that's where we're not quite getting the chances. We're not quite doing enough in the final third. We'll talk about ref watch now because I've talking about how woefully we've defended and we've conceded 2 goals and fair play to Swansea for taking the chances that they had. But in my opinion, Steve Martin, the ref, has had an absolute dog's ear of a game. He looks like a steroid junkie with veins popping out like he's some kind of Robocop.
True. I did see that at some point.
And he just two big decisions in the game. You know, the first one where you've got Guay puts his arm across Jed Wallace.
And he literally just goes like that. There's no need for that.
There's no need for it.
And also, the ref just, he saw Jed Wallace on the ground and he let him have the ball, but he stopped play, which I think is fine, but he let him have the ball still. That is a free kick all day long and a yellow card.
And he was already booked, so he would have been sent off. And in games like that, the little things can tip in one direction or the other. You know, it's like I said.
When you're down to 10 minutes, it's a big problem.
Yes, but, certainly with the formations that we've been playing.
Yeah, we could have beat them. Maybe if they had 10 men.
Maybe not. You know, like I said, the referee hasn't cost us the game. That's fact, because we cost ourselves the game, and Swansea deserved probably to win the game. Although if we'd have nicked it, if we'd have got an equaliser at the end, I don't think Swansea fans would have had too many complaints with us getting the draw. But then you look at the second decision.
It was a draw. It was a draw type game. Like everyone would be fine with a draw from that game because the teams were they didn't play well. And
the second decision was from a corner. The corner comes into the box. Sean Hutchinson's wrestled to the ground.
He literally rugby tackled.
He rugby tackled him to the ground.
Imagine someone playing rugby. That's how he got tackled.
And then the ref blows up as the ball's in the air. So the ball's been nearly cleared by the time he blows up. And then asks for it to be retaken whilst he speaks to him. And you're thinking, it makes absolutely no sense. Once the ball is in play, you can't blow your whistle and then ask for it to be retaken. If you've blown your whistle, you have to give a decision, in my opinion. And it's quite obviously a foul on Sean Hutchinson, which is a penalty in injury time. Whether we score it or not, who knows? But
it doesn't matter if we score it. We should have got a penalty.
When you look at what we've got a penalty against us in the last game with Diving Tony that literally threw himself to the ground and got a penalty for that. If one's a penalty, then the other one's got to be a penalty. You can't blow up after the ball's in the air and then not give a decision. You can't ask for them to be retaken.
How does Ivan Toney get the penalty? But when he's wrestled to the ground, literally wrestled, he doesn't get the foul. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And there are little bits in that leave a sour taste in your mouth. Like, are you throwing himself to the floor and rolling around? And all of the players, Swansea players and our players, look at him thinking, what the hell are you doing? And it just, things like that in games make it so disappointing because, like I said, through big parts of the game, both Swansea and Millwall played some decent footballs, up until the final third, and I think both teams will be disappointed that they haven't created more chances. But both decent sides going at it against each other, and to see a player rolling about the pitch and holding his jaw like someone's broken it, and then all of a sudden he's absolutely fine. It just absolutely baffles you.
How would you carry on? If you hold your jaw, it's either a broken jaw or you're in much pain. But then it's just, how do you carry on?
And it's disappointing anyway. And like I said, we now have got a big gap. You know, we go into the international break, and it's disappointing to go on the back of a defeat. And the worst thing for us is that we've got Wickham away next game, which they haven't scored a goal. They've lost all 4 games. Everything.
We always break a record for a team losing every game.
Yeah, so it's absolutely in the stars that we're going to lose that. And you look at our next 3 fixtures, and for me, nothing short of 9 points would be acceptable. I feel like we should be targeting these 3 games. The good thing is we have a bit of time now, a bit of a rest to be able to. We've got Wickham at home. Wickham away, then Luton at home, Barnsley at home. And although they
should be wins.
And although, again, we always struggle against Barnsley, we know we struggle against Wickham. We know we're going to struggle against Wickham. They're teams there that we should go out to win the game and have more possession. And like I said, today I felt I really looked at that team and I thought we keep the ball a lot better than we have done for a long period of time. When you consider that most of these players played under Neil Harris, and we would go into a game against Swansea and not be able to keep the ball. Where today we kept it really well. There was, like I said, some really good passages of play, times where we could move the ball around. And that's encouraging for the future. We just have to have Leonard and Woods more often than not joining in the attack, so we become a front 5. I really like the fact that Hutchinson was the one that set up Bradshaw for the goal.
Yeah, and if Leonard is that player that number 10 on the edge of the box, always ready to receive the ball and have a banging shot. That's what we should do. Gary Rowett should say, Leonard, when we've got the ball out on the wing, be free on the edge of the box because you can have a dig at the ball.
And that's what they need to do. Both those central midfielders need to be involved in the attack.
Woods could have had a shot today as well, a long shot from edge of the box, but he took another touch.
Yeah, he took another touch. And that's where we'll leave it. Please put your comments. We've got 2 weeks off now. Like the video if you don't mind. We didn't get too many likes in the last one. We didn't ask for them. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Apparently only half the people that watch this is subscribed to the channel, which I was baffled to see in the stats. I thought everyone would be subscribed, but if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you for watching the Millwall Drive Home. We really appreciate your support. Not good enough defensively today for the Lions, which we don't often say. I can't really give a man of the match to any one of our players. No one really stood out for me, although I was happy actually, funny enough, with Pearce's defending other than the 2 cheap goals, but you can't give it to a defender after conceding goals like that. No. We move forwards. We've still got a great away record. You know, that's 1 win in 4. That's the disappointing thing. But we've got Wickham up next, and that'll be our litmus test to see where we are under Gary Rowett.
They'll probably be like the Barnsley. Yeah. Literally, they lose every game, but we're the only teams that can't beat that they beat, and let's just hope that doesn't happen with any teams now.
And we'll leave it there. Yeah. So no one likes us.
We don't care.